Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. As we are reviewing the halachas of sukkah, I was asked a question: are there any halachas to be aware of when erecting or using a sukkah mobile, especially those who are going on trips on sukkahs and they use a pop-up sukkah? What the halachas should they be aware of? So I made a short list, and if you want to review the halachas in Shulchan Aruch, most probably you should look at Siman Tafresh Lamed Gimel, Tafresh Lamed Dalid, Tafresh Lamed Ches, which comes to mind, perhaps the size of the sukkah, besides actually what the sukkah has to be made of. If you buy a ready-made built sukkah with a hechsher, one of those pop-up ones, obviously, hopefully all those are taken care of. But if you are making them themselves, then you have the questions of making sure that the funnels, the walls, and the things that you use for the walls of the sukkah and for the succah of the sukkah obviously have to be ksheres, have to be what's suitable, what's allowed to be used for walls and for succah. And the size, obviously, when you learn Siman Tafresh Lamed Gimel and you see that the sukkah has a height size, Chaf Amma, I don't believe you're going to be able to make a traveling 20 Amma sukkah, which is 30 feet approximately, about that. But you also have to be sure that's not too small, not too short. And Tafresh Lamed Gimel, Seif Ches, it says it shouldn't be shorter than Yut Tfachim. Now, Yut Tfachim, I'm not going to get into the machlokes between the Chazon Ish and Reb Chaim Noah exact measurement of Yut Tfachim, but it's a very, very small shear. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But if you want to make a one small seat sukkah, you have to know that the inside of the traveling sukkah has to be shisha tfachim inside. So the walls have to be ksherim, the schach has to be ksherim, it has to be at least 10 tfachim high, there has to be zayin al zayin, the oirach v'roichav of the sukkah has to be zayin tfachim. The shear, and another thing which is very important is when you build the sukkah, it could be different ways how this sukkah is, the structure of this pop-up or whatever is done. Make sure that you don't place the structure of the schach first and then the walls, because then that's a question of tasam v'loy mina asui. The schach is the main part of this sukkah. You can't put the schach first and then the walls. It has to be the walls first and then the schach. Another thing is when you are having this sukkah parked somewhere, make sure, obviously, there's no schach on top of it. Just like when you build a permanent sukkah, you're always careful that there's no tree over it or it's not under a porch, because then there's a schach, there's something on top of your schach. So too in your portable sukkah, quote unquote. Of course, when you invite people to come into this sukkah mobile, make sure that whatever halacha says that they have to come in Rosh V'Rubai, it should be big enough they should be able to fit in Rosh V'Rubai. An interesting thing you might have not thought about, in one of the other questions we discussed, what would it be, b'chlal, the shaila, if you're allowed to build on Chalamoid? Because building is a malacha, and a chalamoid is a yontif, you're allowed to build. So here, putting up a sukkah and taking apart a sukkah is a malacha. So putting up these pop-up sukkahs and is something which is allowed. And here comes another point, because putting it up and taking apart, besides for the issue of building, here is it becomes a tash mishal mitzvah. It becomes kedusha, because the sukkah and the schach is a tash mishal mitzvah min ha-Torah, which you're not allowed to have usage for, and the funnels, the walls, at least midrabanan, becomes a tash mishal mitzvah, which is asur barna. So how could you just keep doing it on and off? It doesn't lose its kedusha. So actually, it's very interesting that you actually benefit by not having it put up before Yontif. This is one of the benefits different than a put up before pre-sukkah, put up before Yontif Sukkah, and then putting it up on Chalamoid. If you look in Tafresh Lamed Ches. If you Dalit in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe says that V'im asa sukkah b'chalamoid, if you put up a sukkah in chalamoid, only if you put it up in chalamoid, v'hisna al atziat fonis b'tnai, and when you put it up in chalamoid, you make a condition. Hamoyul lehistapek mehem b'chol eis sheyirtza, that says that anytime I want, I could take it apart. Harezem mistapek mehem b'chol eis sheyirtza, then he can take it apart whenever he wants. Afilu be'eis shahasuka kayemes v'yoshev l'shem mitzvah. Even as people are sitting there and it's still used as mitzvah, ve'ein b'zeh mishum mitzvah. Kivon sha'adifones lo huktu klal l'mitzvah, because it was never set aside permanently for a mitzvah. Sha'arei hisna alei mitchila, because when he put it up during Chalamoid, he made a condition sheyehi rashoy l'stapik mehem, that he made a condition that he will be able to use them. So there is a benefit, as the Alter Rebbe mentions in Sif Yudalit. So these are the list of things that come to my mind that a person, as he's making one of these small sukkahs, to be careful. And of course, that you have to make sure that it stays tight, because a sukkah also has to be something that doesn't move with the wind.